comments when I made the potato salad that they wanted to know how I make my greens. So that is what we're getting ready to do today. They are delicious. You're going to enjoy them. Your family is going to enjoy them. Let me just say this. To make some good Southern country greens, the main two ingredients are, of course, the greens and smoked turkey. I don't eat pork. Some people eat pork and they can use pork if they like, but smoked turkey and the greens, and then the technique and the seasoning. That's how you make good greens. So come on, we get ready to do this. Okay, so here are the ingredients. This is all you need to make a really flavorful and tasty pot of greens. Of course, you need the greens, and remember I said the smoked turkey. And you can use any type of smoked turkey pieces you want to, the wings, the legs, the necks, whatever you want. And then you're gonna need some red onion and some red bell pepper and some garlic. Those are the vegetables that you're going to use. We are gonna have some, of course, salt and pepper, and we're gonna use a couple of bay leaves, some red pepper, and of course some chicken broth. Now we have the chicken broth because we're gonna make a stock for our greens. We're not cooking our greens in no water. If you're cooking your greens in water, that's why you don't have the flavor that you're looking for. So we're gonna get started by making our stock. Even before I wash my greens, I'm gonna make my stock. The first thing I'm gonna do, I have about a half of a red onion, and I have about a half of this red bell pepper. And I'm gonna take half of all of this good seasoning. And I'm gonna save the other half because when I put my greens in there, I'm gonna need that to help season my greens. Okay, so I have the seasoning in there. You don't have to cut them no special kind of way because they're gonna cook all the way down anyway. I'm going to put about a tablespoon of my garlic. About a tablespoon. Now, if you've been on my videos before, I told you I don't do all that measuring, so it's about a half of a tablespoon. That's a tablespoon. So I'm gonna put that in there. That's the garlic. Okay. We're making our stock, and so we are going to put in our chicken broth. I'm going to put 2 of these cans of chicken broth to make my stock, and I'm going to go and rinse off my turkey. This is smoked turkey. These are smoked turkey tails, and that is going to go inside of the pot to make the stock. Also in my broth, I'm going to put some black pepper. And I don't know how much black pepper, but I'm gonna say this is about a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. I am going to put a couple of bay leaves. I'm gonna put a couple of those in here. And that's gonna give my stock some good flavor. And then I'm gonna put about a couple of pinches of my red pepper. Just a couple. I don't want them to be real spicy because I want everybody to enjoy the greens, but I do want that flavor from that red pepper in there. Just a couple of pinches, right? And I'm not gonna put any salt in there because we'll wait until we add the greens and see what we need on salt. You don't have to put any oil in here because you got your turkey tails in here, and as they cook, they're gonna make a oil themselves, right? So that's what you got. And I have another can of broth, so you always want to have another can of broth if you need it. I'm going to put my top on here, and I am going to let this cook. I'm going to simmer this for about 2 hours. Now, there's some people out there saying, oh, you don't have to let them cook that long. I like for my turkey to cook off the bones. That is going to give your stock the best flavor possible for your greens. Okay, remember I said early on in the video it's about the technique. Now this stock has been cooking for about an hour and 30 minutes. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. Now, look at that. See how easy that knife goes in there? See that? All you got to do is turn that, I said knife, I mean fork. See that? Look at that. That means your meat is tender what you want. Now before we put our greens in here, I'm going to turn this off and I'm going to take the bone out of the turkey. I'll turn the fire off. Yes, and I'm going to take the bone out. You can watch me if you want. Okay, so this is hot. So all I'm going to do is just pull the meat off the turkey tail. See that? Very easy. You're just going to pull the meat off the turkey tail. And then you're going to get rid of the bone. You don't need that bone. You don't want to cook the bone with your greens, but you do want all this meat. See? Your stock tastes exactly the way you want it to taste, and it has the flavors that you want it to have. I'm telling you, that stock is perfect. So now you can put your greens in there. But now if you look at this stock, see that? Doesn't have a whole lot of liquid. So we're going to add that 1 can. Maybe we'll add half of it. Okay, so what I'm doing now is, as I said, they say the bag greens don't need any washing, but I wash mine and I take all the stems and anything that I don't want to cook out of the greens. I know some people say the stems got a lot of vitamins, but I don't want to bite into that. I don't want that. I always buy a bag more than I think I need because I don't know how many stems are in the greens, and I don't want all of those big stems. See, I don't want that in my greens, so I'm going to take that and take it out. I'm going to wash my greens and go through and make sure that there is nothing in there that I do not want to cook in my So now we have our greens and we have our turkey stock that we cooked. And remember, we cooked this about 1.5 hours, almost 2 hours. And remember, we have this bell pepper and onion that we previously prepared. So what I'm going to do is put my greens, mix them in, add a little bit of the vegetable seasoning, and I have the, oh goodness, I have that extra can of chicken broth. So, here we go. We're going to get all of these greens in here. And again, if you see a big old stem that you don't want, take that out. Take that out. Don't cook that. And some of the seasoned cooks, they might want these big stems. I don't want these big stems in my greens. But if you're a seasoned cook, you probably ain't watching my channel, because you already know how to make greens. All right. Look at that. We got all of our greens in there. And you don't want all that water in your greens. So you're going to get rid of that. And you are going to finish this off with that red bell pepper and that red onion. So that is going to ensure that that flavor is cooked all through these greens. Now we're going to let these greens cook about 30 minutes. And after that 30 minutes, we are going to taste and season. Now, greens do not cook on a high heat. We're going to cook them on a fairly low heat. So here's the flame. That's about, ooh, what a mess I got. So there's the flame, maybe a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Now we're gonna put that pot back there. Now while your greens are cooking, you got time to do a whole lot of other things. So whatever else you're cooking, you can get it done while your greens are cooking. So we're gonna come back in about 30 minutes. Now already you've spent about an hour and 40 minutes cooking your broth. Now you're going to spend 30 minutes just letting these greens simmer so that you can stir them and make sure the flavor is all the way through. You're going to keep your chicken broth right here because you may need it again. All right, we'll be back. Okay, so our greens have been cooking about, it's been about 50 minutes. I did stir them at 30 minutes, and look at that. And you know, I always believe in tasting. I taste and they are delicious. I don't need to use any more of the chicken broth. I have just enough. You don't want them to have too much fluid in there. So that's just a nice amount right there. I'm gonna put about a teaspoon of sugar. Maybe 3/4 teaspoons of sugar in there. And then I'm going to put, I'm doing my best to measure a little bit, y'all. I'm going to put a little salt, maybe about 2 passes. That's about it. And that's just regular old coarse kosher salt. And just probably about another 1/4 teaspoon less of pepper. Okay. Now, that I believe is perfect. And like I say, we cook to get as close to perfection as we can. And I think, look at that. See that? Your greens are full of those nice turkey tails. There's no bones in your greens. Oh my goodness. I'm telling you guys, those greens are going to be seasoned to perfection. They are delicious. Look at them greens. I am telling you, that is a good pot of greens, and they simmering. Oh yes, delicious. Absolutely delicious. All right, everybody, that is the greens. I'm telling you, if you use this recipe, you're not gonna make a mistake. It does not take a lot to make greens. Remember, it is the greens and the meat you use. In my case, it's smoked turkey. You might like something else. Try what you like. But I'm telling you, it's not difficult. It's the technique and the seasoning. But I bet you if you follow my recipe everybody is going to be asking, did you make the greens just like they do me? So make sure that you try this recipe. Tell me what you think in the comments. I guarantee you they're going to be delicious. So hey, make the greens, make the greens.